That's Retro Fandango. That's Retro Fandango. When it's Android over iPhone, and you can keep your stupid amiibo and always bashing on Nintendo. But that's Retro Fandango. That's Retro Fandango. Thanks, Retro Fandango. Wow!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Retro Fandango, episode number 240. I'm here, Richard's here, we're all here, ready to have some fun, ready to do some Fandango. Richard's letting out a nice big yawn.
I've been up for a while, but I don't feel up yet.
Oh, yeah? How early did you wake up? Because you do this show normally at 6 o'clock your time, right?
Yeah, so I usually set an alarm going from 5, knowing that, like a couple of alarms, like 5, 5:15, 5:30, knowing that I'm going to hit the snooze and lay down a bit longer. But today I got up, I don't know, like 5:20 or so.
You know, that's supposed to make you more tired when you hit the snooze a bunch of times.
No, it works.
Okay. I've never done that. I've never set multiple alarms or anything. I've always just had one alarm. I may lay there for a bit before I actually get up out of bed, but alarm goes off and I just stay awake.
I've slept through alarms enough that I know I need a few.
Fair enough. I'm a little groggy today because my allergies have been bothering me. And a couple of years ago, when I had that big allergy attack that like took me out of commission for a while, where I thought I had COVID. Sarah talked to the pharmacist, and he said to take 2 Claritin, because on the box it tells you, adults, anyone over 12, just take 1 Claritin. Well, so I take 2. So I've been taking Benadryl lately before I go to bed, and my allergies were really bothering me yesterday. And apparently the pollen with pine trees is really, really high, and we have like 5 big pine trees in the backyard.
Pine trees have pollen?
Yeah. And apparently their pollen count is really high. Any sort of evergreen is really high right now in our area. So I decided to take 2 Benadryls before I went to bed, and all that did was make me have a rough sleep and make me drowsy all day today. So I'm going to try to hold out until tomorrow morning, and I'll take 2 Claritins tomorrow morning. But
okay,
yeah.
See, so these are names that I know, but I don't think I've ever used these products.
Oh, consider yourself lucky, man. Having allergies is a drag. Nothing's worse than waiting all winter for summer to finally get here, the nice warm weather, and when it gets here, right away you're attacked with the allergies. And it's like I from now until maybe like mid-July, like they'll be bothering me. Then I'll get like 3 or 4 weeks of summer, and then in August, September, it just kicks up all over again.
Well, it's just like the weather. There's only a few weeks of actual nice weather a year, and you probably only get a few weeks of being able to breathe nicely.
Yeah. Anyways, we were talking about before we started recording. You were wondering what I use for my wonderful mic razor to keep my mic up and close to my mouth, so I always sound on mic, because everybody needs to hear everything I need to say, every utterance that comes out of this hole in my face. Everybody needs to hear it. So I said, no, let's talk about it on the show, because you might be interested in this, because this is actually Sarah's collection of magazines called, let's see if it's on here somewhere. Oh, it's called Weird New Jersey. Have you ever heard of this?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was a publication, I think a monthly magazine.
Yeah, she has a bunch of them in here.
Look at that. It's all in it. Well, I mean,
it's
what's
like
with the box though, because that's something that would come out I don't know, every month or so.
She ordered it online. She ordered like the first dozen issues or 20 issues.
Oh, okay, first
online, because you can't get the publication here.
Hmm.
I think. I don't know. Anyways, it has like a bunch of weird New Jersey magazines in it.
Yep, I
And
heard of it, but I've never looked through one.
it's all just
Is it
weird.
only New Jersey?
I don't know. I never actually read them.
Time
I
traveling through New Jersey
I
and
think
beyond.
so. I think so. I don't even know if they're still around. Maybe they're online or something. I don't know.
I don't know how you get 12 issues or more out of that. Isn't it just the Jersey Devil and then
Apparently not. Apparently there's a ton of stories in there. So it just happens to be the perfect height because now everyone's going to hear the difference. This is my mic without the riser, and here we go. We'll put the New Jersey under the mic. Now listen to how good I sound now. Isn't that so much of an improvement? Isn't that something? There you go.
Thank you, New Jersey.
All right. This is called vamping it up because I have nothing to talk about.
You gotta have something. 2
Not
weeks.
much. Not much. I've haven't watched any. I watched one movie, and we've been just watching. Sarah and I've been watching Star Trek: The Next Generation, and that's pretty much it. We had our pals Deke and Sue. You know Deke from the Distortion Den, who chimes in once in a while. Oh, here's Rocket Sauce. Good thing he's here because we have some Cartridge Club business to talk about in a little bit. But
I saw a few exchanges on the Twitters.
Yes. So, Deke and Sue were here. So it was actually kind of nice. They were here almost a week, and they come into town to visit their daughter and granddaughter and family. They're from Thunder Bay, which is like a 12-hour drive to here. So it's quite the haul to get to Sudbury from there. And they kind of use our house as a base. They'll sleep here. They'll hang around a bit in the morning, and then they take off for the day and go visit their granddaughter and whatnot. And then they come back here in the evening, and so it's kind of cool. We got to hang out with our friends in the morning, and then Sarah and I get to do whatever we want during the day, and then in the evening they come in and we hang out with our friends in the evening. It was a very pleasant visit.
Well, it's probably the best way to have guests over is when they leave you alone for a few hours.
Yeah, pretty much every day.
Mm-hmm.
My headphones are bothering me here. They're not there now. They're perfect. The razor's perfect now. The headphones are perfect.
If only we had something to talk about.
Sauce just got home from work, so he's ready for this great discussion. Okay, well, let's see. Where do I want to start? Yeah. Well, I guess maybe I'll finish with the Deke and Sue stuff. So yeah, Deke, like I said, he was here for the whole week. They go visit, but we did plan on doing some things together. There wasn't any shows or anything like that were in town, but we did have to. You know, he's a music guy. I'm a music guy, so we did have to do a couple of shopping trips for music, and our go-to place is Cosmic Dave's, which is the mom and pop record shop that's in downtown Sudbury.
Mm-hmm.
And we've gone there a few times and have gotten some really good stuff. But this time, he didn't have the goods. Didn't have as much of the goods as usual. Didn't have really stuff that we were looking for, which, you know, they mostly rely on people bringing stuff into the store, right? That's their inventory.
Right.
So sometimes you're going to go in there and find a whole bunch of stuff. You're going to have to put stuff back because it's going to be too much. And other times you're going to find nothing. So I actually did okay. It's going to be interesting, me showing vinyl to Richard, because he's not going to care about any of this stuff. But we'll see. We'll see how this goes.
I'm playing it more of, will I recognize any of them?
Have you
I'm going to
ever
give myself one point for any record that I recognize.
I imagine you will recognize a few of these. We'll start off. Well, we'll start off definitely with a band. I doubt you've heard of the band called New Order.
Nope.
No. Okay, so New Order is they're like a pop band, electronic pop band from the 80s. This is Sarah's pickup, and it's a little pricey. This record was a little pricey. We got the big $45 on there.
Ooh.
But this stuff is hard to find. It's hard to get.
Now, is that an original record or is that
Yes.
a recent re-release?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's a re-release. So Sauce has heard of New Order. So there we go. This album, I can't remember what it's called. They always put like the
It looks
date.
like the T2 cover.
Yeah, they always put like the date on their cover. Like this came out in 1986. So it says 1980 because it's upside down here. So, anyways, I can't remember what it's called. But okay, so 1 point for Sauce. Okay. Have you heard of the band called The Guess Who?
No.
Oh my goodness. Okay. That's the best. Guess Who?
Is it a
Brotherhood. Sarah says it's Brotherhood. That's the name of the album.
Brotherhood? Okay. Oh, wait, the Guess Who, is that like a tribute band to The Who?
No.
No.
No, they're a Canadian band. The biggest, most well-known members are Randy Bachman and Burton Cummings. Sauce gets another point. Now, Randy Bachman was in a band called... Come on, Richard. I know you know this.
Bachman Turner Overdrive?
You are correct. You get 2
Do I
points
get a point for that?
You get 2 points for that.
Hey!
That's awesome. And their big song was
Working
Taking Care.
overtime. Look at that.
Taking Care of Business was their big song. But before that, he was in the band called... Oops, I almost lost my record there. Jeez. He was in a band called The Guess Who. And here is one of their early records called Canned Wheat. And
Canned
that's him right.
Wheat.
Is that him right there? I think that's him right there. That's Randy Bachman right there. That's Burton Cummings up there. Anyways, the 2 big songs on this one were No Time and Laughing and Undone. Now, those are 3 big hits here in Canada. So there you go. So I got that one and 2 other, their 10th album. By this time, Randy Bachman had left the group, and it was mostly just Burton Cummings there that was doing all the main songwriting with Kurt Winter. And another album called So Long Bannatyne. I think that's how you say it. Anyways, this one was a little more pricey because it's hard to find this one. But anyways, those 2. I found a Record Store Day exclusive there from Mahogany Rush, who you've never heard of. You were never going to get that. This is the other Rush band from Canada. Not Rush, but Mahogany Rush. And
But has Rocket Sauce heard of them?
No, he hasn't. I guarantee you he has not. I've heard.
Okay, because we're tied right now. I got 2 points for that other one.
So yeah, this was Record Store Day exclusive with the red vinyl. I know you like to see the colored vinyl there. Look at
that. This is the first time I'm ever knowing that there is such a thing as colored vinyl.
There's such a thing as colored vinyl. And they were a bit of a, early on, they were a bit of a, see, I told you Sauce never heard of them. They were a bit of a Jimi Hendrix clone band, and they even dedicated this album to Jimi Hendrix.
Isn't that nice?
Because this came out in 73, and he died in 70 or 71. So, have you heard of the band? Do I say the name of the band? Yeah. Duran Duran. You heard of them?
Yes, I have.
Okay, there you go. There's another point. So Sarah got this more recent release. I think this came out in 2014 from Duran Duran. And I know you've heard of this band because you must have seen me wear the T-shirt a few times. Motorhead.
Oh, of course, yes.
Yeah. So this was.
I'm up to 4 points. This is great.
There you go. So, and so I think Sauce is. I think you guys are still tied. So this is a live show from. I'm not sure when. Oh, I wasn't supposed to show you this one yet. Oops. No, that one. Oh wow. Oh well.
Where was that one sealed? It's like brand new.
Yeah.
Sealed.
Okay. So let me see here. Let me just finish talking about. I screwed this up. Big time.
What's the end game here? What are we leading up to?
The title of the show.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well, let's just say that's all I got at Cosmic Days. And we were a little disappointed that's all that was there at Cosmic Days. And Deke only picked up one album. He picked up Slash's latest album. Slash from the band.
I've heard of a Slash.
Slash, Big Top Hat from the band.
Yeah.
Big in the 80s.
You're correct.
Sweet Child O' Mine.
Okay,
Bye.
is he a Guns N' Roses guy?
There you go. I'll give you a
See,
point.
I don't know
I'll give you a
band
point.
members.
There you go. You got a point. Yeah, so he picked up that one. So then we went our separate ways. You know, we went off home to do our thing. And actually, there's a funny story about that. After we left Cosmic Dave's, so the battery in my car had died, and I needed to get a new car battery. So I went to Canadian Tire. They told me it was going to take a full day to get a new battery because they had to charge the only battery they had that fit my car, and they have to test the battery. Then they charge the battery, and then they test it again, and it takes all day to charge this battery. So I'm like, okay, fine. So when I got home, I put the old battery in our other car, and then we took the vehicle around. And we showed Deacon Sue the city. We went out and had something to eat and all that stuff. Then we went to the record store, and before they went and took off on their excursion, I said, because we brought both cars into town and they had their car. So we met up in the parking lot, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, before they took off, I said, Deke, I'll take that Slash record for you, and I'll put it in a bag and I'll put it in the back of the car. And when you get home, your record will be home. You won't have to worry about it all day. He's like, that sounds good. So we get to Canadian Tire, and I go into the trunk and I open up the trunk, and the old battery that I had in there had fallen over, had tipped over somehow, and acid had leaked.
Ooh.
I'm like, oh, this isn't good. But it was just a small little pool underneath the battery. It's like, no problem. I go inside, I exchange the battery.
Did you at least have it in some sort of container?
No, it was just there. So, well, there is a plastic, like a rubbery plastic thing on the bottom of the trunk. So it just kind of
like a desk blotter.
Sort of, yeah. But it covers the entire trunk, right? So I take in the battery because if you exchange the old battery, you get $20, right? If you bring them the old battery. Kind of pissed me off though, because their displayed price at Canadian Tire was the price after you bring in the battery. So their price was, this battery is $178. So I'm like, okay, I'll bring it in and I'll get $20 back.
Right.
But their regular price is $198. What a ripoff. How could they get away with that?
It's all advertising. I'm sure there's some very fine print there.
So I get back to the car. There was another guy coming out with a battery too. And he's like, I feel your pain, man. I'm like, anyways, get to the car, grab a bunch of Kleenex from inside the car and go back into the trunk, open up and clean up all the acid that was there. And I'm like, all right, just, move some stuff around and all that to get everything away from the acid.
How do you clean up battery acid?
I just mopped it up with Kleenex and then threw it out in the garbage.
Anyways, throw it down the toilet. What do you do?
I threw it in the garbage. So I picked up the records, and under the records there was a second pool of acid. Oh. It had run down and pooled underneath the records. I'm like, oh crap. Knowing my luck, every record will be fine except for Deke's. His will be totally destroyed, and then I'll have to go buy him another record. But thankfully, the receipt in the bag kind of soaked up all of the acid that had seeped through the bag.
How big was this receipt?
It was like a normal.
How much did you buy?
So Cosmic Dave's is a little old school. He's got a receipt. Like, he doesn't have printouts. He writes everything on a receipt. So it's like, kind of an old school receipt. But yeah, it sucked up everything. And just a little bit got on one of the records, but it had cellophane on it. So everything was fine. Pool of Acid sounds like a metal band, says Sauce. Yeah. You know what? No, I'll do that. I'll do that. That'll be my metal band. So anyways, that crisis was averted. But then later on in the evening, Deke had come home and he had he had like 4 records in his hands.
Hmm.
And he's like, "You're never gonna guess where I got these." And I'm like, "Toys R Us?" And he's like, "Yeah, Toys R Us." And I'm like, "Yeah, I forgot to tell you that Toys R Us has records now." So,
Really?
so Toys R Us in the States went out of business. They're
Right.
completely shut down, but they stayed. Their Canadian wing has remained open. And one of the things that they're doing to continue to remain open is they're starting to diversify all the things that they have. So there was a media, like a place that sold a brick and mortar chain in Canada that sold vinyl records and movies and DVDs and CDs and books and all that stuff. They were called HMV Canada. They went out of business, and Toys R Us went in and picked up all their stock and started selling them in their stores. And same with Bed Bath and Beyond. They picked up all Bed Bath and Beyond stock and they're
Wow.
selling it. Yeah, yeah. So it's kind of wild. So you go into Toys R Us
Imagine a
now.
kid going into a toy store now. Oh boy. I
Yeah,
want the lavender scented candle.
yeah. It's kind of wild because one of the albums that Deke had bought at Toys R Us, it's an album by the Black Crows, and it's called Amorica. And if you know anything about the album Amorica, it's the close up of a woman wearing a bikini in her nether regions, wearing
Hmm.
like an American flag, and it's like in the shape of a triangle. And
Okay.
on the top, they show her pubic hair. This is in Toys R Us. You can buy
Yeah.
the American variant is just a black album with the triangle because they like
Hmm.
blacked everything out. But in Canada, I think we got everything, and then it got blacked out, and then you can get everything again. Anyways, it's just funny to see something like that in Toys R Us. So Deke said I had been to Toys R Us, but their prices were a little high, and I never bought anything. But from now until June 16th, they had a sale on. Still have it. It's still on. If you buy 4 records, you get 20% off. So that
Ooh.
brought the prices a little more down to earth. Why don't you show us that? What do you want? Oh, the album cover.
The
I don't
album cover.
listen. I played a little bit of the intro to or the
Oh, Married
commercial.
with Children.
Married
Yeah.
with Children. I'm a little gun shy now with YouTube. I don't know what I'm going to get pulled off the old YouTubes for. So
Oh, maybe you could just do your best impersonation if you stand up and tighten your shorts there.
I don't think anyone wants to see that tuft of
Do you
hair from
happen to
me.
have a U.S. flag for underpants today?
Mm, no, sorry.
Mm.
Sorry, I do not. Okay, so this is what I bought at Toys R Us. So I bought started this Duran Duran record.
Hmm.
So I bought this Motorhead record.
Yeah.
So this is a live show from 2007, and they're at the Montreux Jazz Festival. And pretty much every band that performs at this festival has to play a little bit of blues or a little bit of jazz. And we were like, there's no way Motorhead played some blues or jazz there. But on the back, there's a couple of songs here that I don't recognize. You got Rosalie and In the Name of Tragedy. That might be on a newer album. But anyways, Be My Baby. There might be a couple of songs on here that's, jazz, some Motorhead jazz or blues. That's going to be interesting to listen to. So
Hmm.
another one I picked up was okay. Have you heard of the Heartbreakers?
Heartbreakers.
Yeah.
Was that the Joan Jett and the Heartbreakers? Or was that
Mm,
Joan Jett and the something somethings?
no, but they did have another lead guy. His name was Tom Petty. Have you heard of him?
Oh, okay, yes,
Okay,
that
Tom
I've
Petty and
heard.
the Heartbreakers. So you got a point.
Okay. See,
That
if you don't say the whole title, it doesn't.
well,
It doesn't sound right.
I was trying to get you some extra points. I thought you were going to say Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. And then you were
If,
close.
see, if
It was
someone, it's like if someone says Harrison, you're like, who's that? Oh, Harrison Ford.
no,
Oh,
no, no.
okay.
See what else? See, you were close though. You had Joan Jett. It was the Black Hearts, right? Joan
The
Jett and the
Black
Black
Hearts.
Hearts.
Okay.
But if you would have said Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, then you would
Mm-hmm.
have gotten 2 points. So I was trying to help you along here.
Okay.
Trying to. Anyways, this is a live show, live at the Fillmore, 1997. This show, they do a lot of covers from Rolling Stones covers. I Get No Satisfaction. It's All Over Now. A lot of cool songs on here, but it's funny. From 1997, he was like, "Yeah, we're doing something crazy with this. We're recording it and we're streaming it live on the internet, whatever
Ooh,
that
them
is,
interwebs.
whatever that is." He says, because it's 1997 and Tom Petty didn't really know what the internet was. So that was pretty cool. And my final record that I bought. Let's get through all this. You must have heard of this band. You probably have heard of this band.
I can surprise you.
Let's see. Lead singer Bruce Dickinson.
That means nothing to me.
The main songwriter was Stephen Harris.
Could have been Steven Eider. I don't know.
A lot of their classic albums were produced by this acclaimed producer Martin Birch. Nothing. Okay.
Oh, Martin Birch.
Yes, Martin Birch. Yes.
Oh, okay. I misheard.
Last name Maiden. First name.
Is this a person or a band name?
It's a band name. Last name Maiden. First name.
Okay, I will thank Bill and Ted for this one. Is it Iron Maiden?
That's right. You got to up the irons, Richard. Because I got Iron Maiden, Live After Death. Woo!
Okay, I might know something about this. The
Okay.
character on that cover has a name. I don't know
Yes.
what it is, but that character appears in every like album cover, or most of them at least.
I think like 99% of them. There might be like the odd one that doesn't have them on it for some reason.
Okay.
But yeah, he's
I
usually
know
the
that
center.
much.
He's usually the center figure. So this is the last album I was missing from the 80s. I have all the Iron Maiden on vinyl, all the studio albums, and this was a live album that came out in 86. And if you know anything about Iron Maiden,
I don't.
really heavy metal and artwork kind of go together. All this crazy intricate artwork that you can see on the cover, and even Judas Priest here. My Judas Priest shirt has the same.
Mhm.
But Iron Maiden was really the band that kind of upped the game. Like every metal band, almost every metal band had a lot of like interesting covers, but Iron Maiden, they really went all out with all the artwork on the inside. There's Eddie's eyes on fire.
Oh, look at that.
On there. The even the gatefold here on the other side, it like extends to the whole thing on the back.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the inside, on the sleeves, you have a whole bunch of imagery in that from the shows. Oh, that's all stuff from the shows. And the interesting thing is that they put liner notes for the songs, like the song lyrics on a live album. That's very rare that you see like song lyrics on a live album. So there you go.
All those inserts, they got to put something on there.
Well, a lot of them don't. A lot of them put nothing. You get nothing. But Iron Maiden always comes out banging with the intricate artwork and all that on their albums. So there you go. Oh, my Kleenex box is showing again. I hate that. There. That's it.
Well, it's amazing to hear what's going on with Toys R Us nowadays. Well, I guess it makes sense though, because what's the average age of people going in there? There's a bunch of middle-aged toy collectors now. So,
well, plus
some records and pubic hair and whatever else in there.
Plus, when it comes to toys, they're always competing with Walmart, but there's also the online stuff, Amazon and eBay and all that stuff. So they have to diversify a little bit. And yeah, getting into media is great because, you know, here in Sudbury, we have the mom and pop store downtown for vinyl records. But when it comes to CDs, there are not a lot of options. Your options are online. Here in Sudbury, anyways, you got online, and Walmart might have a little bit, like just like one thing, but Best Buy's out of the game. Future Shop is gone. You know, none of the other department stores carry music. So it's kind of cool that they're getting back into it. And you can buy, you know, Blu-rays, 4K Blu-rays, all sorts of stuff there. But they're a little pricey, a little expensive. But right now they got the buy 4 and you get 20% off. So that you know, brings the prices a little bit closer to earth.
Well, you get your window there.
Sauce says soon they'll have sex toys. Well,
maybe
a man can dream, can he? Anyway, Sauce is
Toys R. Excuse me a moment. When I worked at Toys R Us, I remember them having like CDs and movies and stuff. But I think that was like a kind of like, oh, what, you're starting to do this now?
Yeah.
But
and
I don't think it lasted that long.
And video games was always a big thing at Toys R Us, and now they hardly have any. Even
really?
Yeah, it's I don't even know if they have PS5 games there. They just have a small section of Xbox One and PS4 games, and it looks like they're just there to try to get, you know, somebody to buy them at some point or something. I don't know. Okay, so now that Rocket Sauce is here, do we want to talk about the Cartridge Club Game of the Month for August? Is a Patreon vote. So every year the Cartridge Club gets all the people who participate in their Patreon to select a game of the month and select what they want for the game of the month. And it goes into, well, people vote on it. What do they call that? What do they call a thing that people vote in?
A vote?
A vote. It goes to a vote. And the winner gets their game chosen for the game of the month, and they get to host the show. They get to be a co-host on the show. So I am a Patreon, as I've been, I believe, since the Patreon became a thing, and I haven't stopped it because I keep forgetting about it every month. But that's okay. That comes out like, oh yeah, that's still happening. But that's fine. So Sauce did contact me to ask me what my vote or what game am I going to pick to be voted on. And usually I pick, Sauce appreciates it. Oh, you're welcome. Usually I pick a Grand Theft Auto game. I think last year I picked Quake 2, but everybody was like, nobody wants to play a first-person shooter, Kevin. Nobody cares. But they did do a Grand Theft Auto game. They did Grand Theft Auto Vice City. And I missed it. Like, this was right when I was moving in. Like, I moved in October of 2022. The month before that, in September, they did Ratchet and Clank, which is one of my favorite series. So I missed out on that one. And then they did Grand Theft Auto Vice City in November. And I missed out on that one because I was too busy. Now that I have all the time in the world, they're doing Warcraft Rumble, a Star Wars game, the Atari compilation. That's right. I do have that on my thing to listen to because it was Curtis and Duke that did that one. Anyways, I thought it'd be fun if you and I chose a game to be voted on. And if it gets chosen, then maybe we'll do the Cartridge Club Game of the Month for August.
Oh,
we just have to guess.
I haven't done a Cartridge Club game in I don't know how long.
Oh, Warcraft is because Sean P1 is back for this month. Okay. I wasn't knocking the Warcraft. I was just having some fun with the Warcraft. I think it's a phone game, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. think it's a phone game.
No, he's hardcore into them Warcrafty
Yeah, he is full
worlds
on
now.
Warcraft. Hey, all the power to him, man. Whatever floats his boat. So I did come up with a few games that I think would be interesting for us. Yes, it is a mobile game. Okay, there you go. Let's see here. Now he did send me a list. I got into the back door of the Cartridge Club, and I could see all the
got
games.
to Ryan's back door.
I got to see all the games.
Is this a fair vote
that they've chosen in the past? Hey, listen, all I'm gonna say is Ryan's not complaining that I'm in the back door right now. I got all the games that have been chosen in the past, and I don't think we're infringing on any of them. And I also got a look at the potential future Cartridge Club games, like stuff that's on the list that they haven't got to yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I looked at that, and I also went into my Steam account and I put in the filter 2D because I think that's all Richard can handle right now. It's just 2 dimensions. He can't do a third. That's okay. There's a lot of good options here.
Well, you're stepping on my toes here. I was going to discuss a game that I've been playing, and it is a 3-dimensional game.
No way. Well, what game have you been playing?
It's also 20 years old.
That's fine. I think some of these games are really old, and some of them are a little more not modern.
And now this might have been a Cartridge Club game at some point. I'm having fuzzy memories now, but I pulled out one of my most favoritist games of all time because last week I think it was the Epic Game Store giveaways, they gave away some kind of Marvel game.
Yes.
Kind of like
yeah,
the Marvel
Sons
character game.
Yeah, I
like I don't know.
Put it in my library too, and I haven't played it.
That's what you do. You just add it. Like there it is. So it made me think of one of my most favorite games, the X-Men Legends.
I don't think
was
they've
on
ever
the
done
PS2 and the GameCube and the Xbox. So I put that in and I started playing it again, and it was a lot of happy memories that as soon as I started playing again, it's like, oh, this doesn't look too good anymore. And it's a little clunky, but I do understand all the fun I was having.
Did you know that there is like the spiritual successor to that, the X-Men Legend series, is the Marvel Alliance, Ultimate Alliance?
Ultimate Alliance, yeah.
Did you know that they came out with an Ultimate Alliance 3?
I did hear about that. It was on like the Switch or something.
Yeah, it's just for the Switch. What's up with that? The Switch.
What's up with that?
Well, Sauce confirms they've never done an X-Men Legends or an Ultimate Alliance game. So we could put that down as a possibility. If I had a pen, here's one. So I also down.
Would you like to know how I'm playing X-Men Legends?
Yes.
I'm playing it on my PlayStation 2. My North American PlayStation 2. Which I received from
me.
Mr. You, yes.
Mr. Me. Right. Okay, that's cool. It still works.
Still works.
I didn't think you kept it. I thought you would have thrown that out a long time ago.
No. That's I was going to throw away my Japanese player actually. Because I realized that or was it the other way around? I couldn't remember, but I did at one point take all the PS2 games that I still have, which is not many, and I tried playing them on both systems to see if it was like region free enough. And I think except for one title, everything worked on one console, but I can't remember which way it was.
Sauce has
Regardless, I still have the console.
That's cool. Sauce has the answer here. Nintendo paid for Ultimate Alliance's Ultimate Alliance 3's development. Wow, that was hard to say.
How do you know these things?
I don't know. People keep up on it. But that makes sense. Even though, like, Sony, they partially developed something, at least it gets out on Steam. Microsoft, they'll put it out on PC. Nintendo, they're still backwards.
It's ours.
Okay. Would you like some other options?
All right, go ahead.
We can do an X-Men.
Do I get a
Legends.
point if I've heard of these games?
You've heard of all these games. We could do an Ultimate Alliance. We could do Broforce,
Okay, Road Force.
Castle Crashers,
Okay.
Day of the
That one
Tentacle.
hasn't been done.
That has
Castle
not been done.
Crashers.
That has not been done. Day of the Tentacle.
Oh, I've been meaning to go back to that one.
Me too. That's why I put it down. Double Dragon Neon.
That's a fun one.
A game I've been wanting to go back and replay. Hotline Miami.
Okay.
One of the Oddworld games. I haven't replayed any of those.
Okay, I've got one or two of those.
Papers, Please.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And this one I found on their backdoor list there, potential games of the month that they haven't done yet. They have not done either Mike Tyson's Punch Out with Mr. Dream, or Super Punch Out or Punch Out on the Wii. They haven't done any of the Punch Outs.
I do like the Punch Outs. I don't know. There's a whole lot to discuss with the Punch Outs. Pretty much you just punch people.
I mean, we discuss it quite frequently on this show, and we somehow get something out of it. So, I don't know.
I am amazed that I knew everything on that list, and I think
I knew you
own
would.
everything.
I knew you would. This is all stuff we've talked about in the past, and they haven't done yet, and I own it already. The X-Men Legend games, I don't know if I still have them. I don't know if they went out in the Great Purge. I'd have to look and see, but I do have the Ultimate Alliance games for sure. So he owns it and bought it at launch. Sauce bought the 3
Alliance 3
on the Switch. There's a lot of unique fighters. Well, look, I'm not knocking the game. I'm only knocking that it's only on the Switch. If they put it on, because the other 2 Alliance games came out on Steam, so put that out on Steam so I can play it, because I do have them
still on there. Because I know that they disappeared at one point, and
actually, you know what? They might not be. They might not be now.
Well, them licensed properties.
So anything in that list tickle your fancy? Like that would motivate you to actually play the game in August and want to talk about it in August?
Oh gosh, well, what was it? Castle Crashers.
So
I replayed that. Oh gosh, maybe 2 or 3 or 4 years ago. I played through with Creepy Josh.
Sorry, Sauce was talking about Punch Out, not Ultimate Alliance.
Oh,
yeah. See, what you got to do, Sauce, is because you have to say, "I own Punch Out and bought it at launch." That's yeah, or whatever it is. Yeah, we're still confused. Anyways, sorry.
Hotline Miami, Double Dragon Neon. Like I wouldn't mind going back to those. Day of the Tentacle. I haven't played since the old MS-DOS days. Or no, that wasn't on DOS. That was a disc. Yes,
DOS would have been on disc. MS-DOS, yeah. Like if MS-DOS would work with discs. Like you mean like a floppy disk, right? Or a hard disk?
No, like a CD.
Yeah, there were still DOS games.
Still DOS?
Yep, on CD.
Well, there's stuff to talk about already. But yeah, I've been wanting to go back to that game. But what else was it?
So I said Broforce.
Broforce, okay.
Oddworld, Papers, Please.
Oddworld, Papers, Please. Ooh. I don't know. Any one of those, I would be down for. If you wrangled me into this, I could play any of those.
Okay.
You could do a vote to figure out what game you would put up for a vote.
I don't know how much time I have here, because Sauce said he was already late in asking me. So, Sauce, tell me how much time I have to put out a vote for a vote to see which game everyone wants to vote on.
How many titles did you list off?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
10. Okay.
Yeah. And at that's not to say that this game is going to win the Patreon vote. Every game I presented in this has failed miserably every single time. It has been smoked in the voting.
Okay, I have my polyhedral dice here. I have a D10.
Okay.
So you got a listing 1 through 10 there,
I do.
and I will roll a die.
Okay.
This will be my official input.
Okay, forget about the vote
No
then.
less.
We're just going with this. Whatever. Let's just do this. This is way easier.
Okay. I have rolled a 9.
Okay, so that would be. Let me just make sure I got this right. Yeah, so we're doing Papers, Please.
Oh, that's a nice one.
That is not going to win. I guarantee you. I guarantee people are going to look at that and say, "What the hell is Papers, Please?" I'm going to vote for Mario 2 or whatever game.
Communist point and click game where you check passports.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fun, but that's it. Okay, we'll just say Papers, Please. Okay, so you got your answer, Sauce. It's Papers, Please. That's what we're going with.
I think the
So-
last time I played Broforce, I played through it twice. Didn't they like update it and give you like new bros?
I went and downloaded it too, like a few months ago, and I started playing it. I'm like, I don't remember this character, this character, this character. Like there are, I think, 3 different variations of Chuck Norris now. There's
Well, there's like I know this. There's Walker Texas Ranger Chuck Norris.
yes.
There's the one he's got like the grenade launcher. Like was that the Delta Force or Missing in Action?
Missing in Action one. And then I believe there's like maybe I'm remembering wrong, but there was I think there was a third one that was like I think his bad character in God, the Bruce Lee movie. Remember he was in a Bruce Lee movie, right?
Oh, really? Yeah.
I think so. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I don't know. Anyways, maybe it was a dream I had. Okay, so the game is called Papers, Please. I'll put it in the chat. There.
I don't know. Was there a proper ending to that game? Was there a good outcome?
I don't know. I remember it got so stressful because you were trying to not kill people that didn't deserve to die and trying to save your job and
Yeah, your kid needs medicine and all that stuff.
Yeah. Anyways, here's the thing with this choice. I guarantee you it will not win in August, and we will not have to play a video game in August and not have to do the Cartridge Club game.
Well, if you want to make it more appealing, if you throw like Double Dragon Neon in there, people know what a Double Dragon is.
Yeah.
That it might.
No, I'm not. We'll just go with Papers, Please. It's fine. We're not going to try to win. If we win, then fine, we'll do it. We went with the dice. The dice made the decision. If the dice rolled let's see. If it rolled a 6, then we would have done Double Dragon Neon. Rolled a 7, we would have done Hotline Miami. I still do want to go back and play that game. And play the second one. I've never played the second one.
Yeah, I haven't played the second one. That one, I found it very difficult at first. Like I had a lot of trouble getting speed with the controls because things happen pretty quickly. Towards the end of the game, it's like I don't know if it just a matter of practice or something just clicked. It's like, oh, now I'm doing real good.
Yeah. Remember, I just played a pixel junk shooter, and there was a part 1 and a part 2. And part 1 was really enjoyable. Played through the whole thing, challenge in some parts. And then part 2 comes out. It's almost like the Super Mario Brothers Japanese version, part 2, Lost Levels. It was just, they amped the difficulty up so much. And I guess my North American skills couldn't keep up. I got to the end boss, but I'll never be able to beat that thing. So
it may not necessarily be North American skills. It could easily be middle-aged skills.
Could be that. Could be. Who knows?
Which is why a point and click game would be great right now.
Well, yeah, Papers, Please. I mean, it's more of a thinking game. You can just sit back and think. So it's a good game. All right, what do you have? Don't you? I've been talking for like 50 minutes.
Well, I mentioned the X-Men Legends there.
Yes.
Which I had been trying to play a little slowly because I don't know how long it's going to take me to actually finish this game, or if I am going to play it to its entirety. But just the constant stop and micromanage, allot points to characters, they level up, you give them this skill, that skill, change the equipment they have, try to make sure nobody dies, always checking to see who needs health or who needs energy. It's been a while since I played a game that required health packs, and
Yeah.
you have those. You can only save at certain points, so it's like you got to play another 20 minutes to get to the save point. It's tricky, but it's good brain exercise,
Yep.
I think. Oh gosh, what should we talk about? Well, I'll do my movies real quick. I brought some.
Sure.
I didn't really plan this, but I guess all the movies I've been watching, well, not all of them, but everything I brought to show, they're all like kids movies. Some of them were things that I just had on my backlist. Have you ever heard of Early Man?
No.
It's the Aardman animation guys who did Wallace and Gromit
Yep.
and Chicken Run.
Yep.
This came out in 2018. I got it when they were selling off all the rentals.
Oh yeah.
And it's good if you like the Aardman animation style and their sense of humor.
I do.
It's worth a watch.
The Shaun of the Sheep. I think that was
Oh
him,
yeah,
right?
Shaun,
That was,
Shaun the Sheep.
yeah. Or Shaun the Sheep. Yeah, I call it
Shaun of
Shaun of
the
the
Dead.
Sheep. Shaun of the Sheep.
Yeah, it's up there with all their other animations. Good stuff.
Okay. I'll put it on
I,
my list.
I was going through my Muppets movies because I had been rewatching some of these. So I had previously watched Muppet Treasure Island, and then I finally got back to the Great Muppet Caper, which I still loved. That as soon as I started watching that, all the lines, all the beats, everything came back to me because I watched that so much as a kid. But then I hadn't watched the newer Muppet movies that came out after Disney bought the Muppets.
Yeah.
So there's the Muppets from 2011
Yeah.
and the Muppets Most Wanted from 2014. And they're both fine. I think I liked Muppets Most Wanted a little bit more.
Oh really?
Ricky Gervais is in that
Oh,
one. He
okay.
plays
Well,
the villain. And there's, without giving away spoilers, they do there's somebody that looks exactly like somebody else. Like there's an evil looking Kermit who's
ah,
got like a little mole.
ah.
So it's kind of fun that there's an evil Kermit and he does this really bad impression of Kermit. So he's just walking around pretending to be Kermit and nobody knows. It's kind of fun. But yeah, they're okay. They're not nearly as good as the earlier Muppet outings with all the original cast
Yeah,
members.
I've only seen the first, like the one from 2011, just called The Muppets. I've never seen the second one.
Yeah, it was okay. I was glad that they kept it kind of fun and innocent and light. They didn't try to edge it up too much for a modern audience. They kept it very simple, but it was okay. Most Wanted, you got Tina Fey, you got Ricky Gervais. They're kind of fun. One thing I realized about watching The Great Muppet Caper again, though, is that all the cameos that I didn't get as a kid. So, like, blanking on his name now. Mr. Monty Python.
Yeah, John
John
Cleese is
Cleese.
in that,
John
right? Yeah.
Cleese is in that one. Yeah, and he's great. He's got a great scene. It goes on for a while too. His performance is excellent. One movie here that I think I watched as a kid, because I think everybody has to have watched this, but I know I haven't seen it since the early 80s. So I wasn't sure if I had actually seen the whole thing in the past, but I finally revisited E.T.
Okay.
and it's good. It's a
Eh,
good movie.
yeah, I was never a fan of ET.
Me neither. I that's why it took me so long to go back to it. I never really cared so much about the character, the movie, whatever. But it is well done.
Oh yeah,
It's got
yeah.
some fun moments.
I think I've said it a million times, but at Christmas time in my elementary school, they would bring in the principal had these, you know, full movies on the school projector, be a big
Hmm.
reel like that, and he'd have every year he would play E.T. and Back to the Future. And every
Nice.
year, I could not wait for ET to finish so we could watch Back to the Future because I did not care about ET. I didn't care about his stupid Reese's Pieces. I thought he was gross when he's dying and he's full of all that white stuff. He looked like
Oh yeah, he's real chalky.
yeah, he looked like the chalky white dog poo because everyone fed their dogs crap in the 80s, so they get that chalky
Yeah.
white dog. He looked like dog poo. I didn't like him at all. I just wanted him to go home so we could get to Back to the Future and
Hmm.
watch the principal get all red in the face every time someone said damn in Back to the
Oh,
Future.
there's a lot more than that.
Yeah. Anyways, good movie, Back to the Future.
Yeah. Beyond that, I was just rewatching other things. I rewatched the airplane movies.
Oh, okay. What'd you think of now I know you loved the first one
First
because
one's great. The second one has its
it
moments, but
has its
it's
moments.
they're basically playing the hits,
Yeah. Yeah.
everything that worked in the first one, and then there's a couple of things they add new that, it's not as
Yeah.
good. You
The
got
the first
William Shatner.
yeah. By the way,
Uh, One of the best jokes in the movie, though, is when William Shatner shows up and he's on like a little view screen. Some guy's talking to him. And he's like,
he
"What's going
just
on? What's
walks
going on?" And he just open.
just
It was
walks
just a window. He just walks through the door.
Yeah, it does have its moments. It was written by a Canadian, Ken
Yeah, the Zucker
Finkelman.
brothers were not involved.
No,
It was
it
written
was
directed by some other guy.
Ken Finkelman who that experience making that movie because he was an up and coming comedic writer, and he came up with the script for it, and then the studio came in and dumbed everything down. They wanted the same jokes from the first movie again, so that's what he made them, and that experience soured him on the whole Hollywood experience. So then he came back to Canada and he created a series in Canada like called the Newsroom, which is not the American Newsroom. There's a Canadian Newsroom which is highly respected here in Canada. It's a great
Hmm.
comedy series. And here is a bit of trivia for you. You can whip this out at your next party and impress everybody.
Okay.
Airplane 2, the sequel, is the only time that the original Enterprise from the TV series made it on screen. The original Enterprise. That one gag where he's looking in the periscope and
Hmm.
you get to see what he sees, and it's the original Enterprise from the 60s. That's the only
Hmm.
time it ever makes an appearance on the big screen.
And that was the actual model, or was it just some
I think it
old
was just
footage?
footage from the old show, but still, it's the only time it's ever been seen on the big screen.
Really? There all the time. There's a lot of Star Trek clip in different movies, but they
Yeah,
don't
but like
show the exterior shots.
they don't show the Enterprise, right? Like they'll show like
They
Bill
show
and
Kirk and
Ted,
the Gorn all the
right?
time.
On Bill and
Yeah.
Ted's or whatever, but they never show the Enterprise. Now
Hmm.
that might have changed in the past. I don't know, 20 years, but at least from the year 2000 and on, that was the only time the
Okay.
original Enterprise. Like it might have changed.
Hmm. Okay. I rewatched a couple other things. Oh gosh, The Last Detail, the
Oh,
Nicholson movie we did once. That
yep,
still really, really good. Probably one
yep,
of my favorite Nicholson movies.
yeah.
Really good. I watched Death Proof, that Tarantino Grindhouse movie.
Mm-hmm.
Kurt Russell in the car.
Yeah, what'd you think of
Boy,
that?
that goes on for a while.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
It's it's actually got some. I take it you haven't rewatched Full Metal Jacket
Not yet.
yet, but it has an element of Full Metal Jacket in it.
Yeah,
That's
I can see that.
kind of nice, but boy, it's just one of those movies where you could easily chop out 30 to 40 minutes of dialogue and still have the same movie.
Mm,
It is nice how he sets certain things up. The information is there, and it's set up in a way that you're not thinking about it. It's not that obvious, like, oh, okay, I see what's gonna happen next. But boy, it goes on forever, and it's one of his shorter movies too.
Is it?
Yeah, it's only a little over 2 hours.
Oh, well.
Yeah. And I rewatched this movie called Haywire from 2011, action movie.
Okay.
That Gina Carano, the actress, she was in Deadpool. She was the heavy beat
Okay.
up
Oh, right.
Colossus.
Okay.
And she's got a couple of really good fight scenes in this movie.
I
She
think,
beats up Channing Tatum and Michael Fassbender.
yeah, I did try to watch this. I don't think I lasted too long. I
Yeah.
gave it,
It, yeah,
1.5 stars.
it's you didn't even watch the whole thing and you gave it 1.5 stars. It's got some really good
Um,
fight scenes, couple of good moments. Towards the end, it really tapers off. It gets kind of like silly. You probably didn't even make it to the Bill Paxton scenes.
you know what? I'm looking at it now. I think I did watch the whole thing. Uh, how long is this movie?
Well, 90
Yeah, I
minutes,
probably did.
100
I
minutes,
think
something
I
like that.
did watch it all. It's just not my thing.
Yeah, it's got a weird pace, and it does those. It has a couple scenes early on where it does that like super fast paced editing, where
Yeah.
it's like constantly like cut to this scene, cut to that scene, cut to this scene. Things gonna happen so fast, just
Yeah.
like a nice slow scene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
Mhm. I might be going to the movies soon
Oh.
because there's a little theater nearby. It's one of those like little artsy theaters. They don't
Mm-hmm.
play the big movies. They get lots of little things, documentaries and stuff. But apparently they are showing. There's one movie that I'm going to see, and I don't even know the name of it. But I'm only going to see it because it was directed by my old film teacher.
Oh.
So we're going to show some support. It's like playing for like a week only. It's a little documentary. It's a musical
Oh.
documentary.
Wow.
Are you a fan
Okay.
of the Pink Floyd?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know anything about them, of course, but I'm going
Okay.
to see this movie about here, I'll impress you. Sid Barrett? Is that the
Yes.
name of the Okay,
Yes.
yeah, it's about him.
Okay.
That's all I know.
So it's a documentary about Sid Barrett.
Yes.
Okay.
And then while we were getting the tickets for that, I realized I saw a little up and coming thing. They are going to be showing the holdovers there soon. I haven't seen that, so hey, look at that.
I just got the Blu-ray.
So if
I
that
found
opens up, I'm gonna go see
I found
that.
this at the thrift store for some reason
Nice.
for $3.99.
Hey, good prices. And starting right now for 1 week only, they are also playing Soylent Green,
Oh, I'd love to see
which
that. Yeah.
I have never seen.
Oh,
So if I
yeah.
go see it, I can add that to my NSSSABC challenge.
Nice.
So I might be going to the movies.
Sweet.
That's about it. That's all I got.
Cool.
Unless you want to hear about badgers.
Like the animal badgers? You got badgers
Yeah, the
digging
animal
up.
badger. I got badgers around the house.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, well, a while back I mentioned something called a raccoon latrine. I
Yes.
was having an issue with the tanuki, the
Yes.
little Japanese raccoons, and so that solved that problem. But apparently the badgers got the exact same idea, and they were using the exact same spot.
Mm,
So we had to put down a whole bunch of scents that they don't enjoy. A lot
yeah.
of chili peppers and things like that. Some detergent packs that they don't like,
Okay.
and so far I haven't seen them since we put all that down. So
Yeah, so Deke is at he's checking in. He
hillbilly
says, "Yo,
wrestling.
boys." He's ringside at Hillbilly Wrestling. Yeah, so he's at a wrestling show. It's like a one of those independent wrestling things, not associated with the big what's his name?
Oh, the
The,
WWE.
yeah, but what's the guy who runs all that and he walks
Oh,
funny?
Vince McMahon.
Vince McMahon. Yeah, that guy. He's at
I think he retired. I don't think he does that anymore.
Oh, really? I'm sure he's
He's
pulling
kind of
some
older.
strings. I'm sure he's pulling some strings.
Maybe. I mean, he's got $1 billion. He can
Yeah, that won't
he
stop
can let
that
somebody
guy.
else do it.
That won't stop that guy.
But this hillbilly wrestling is so entertaining that he has time to tweet
Yeah. Well, I guess
about
he's waiting for the show to start, so he's just
the
checking in,
show.
make sure we're all good.
Oh, okay. All right. We
Okay.
don't need no stinking badgers.
Yeah, that's from UHF.
I
Remember?
haven't seen that movie in so long.
Oh man, you're missing out.
I've
You're
tried
missing-
to get it a few times, but it's not a popular item over here, so it doesn't
Yeah.
show up.
Yeah, UHF's a good one. There you go. Okay, Deke says the show hasn't started yet. So see, he's just waiting.
Okay.
He's looking at us. Okay, so well, let me get to the stuff I teased on the old description there before I move on to anything else. Might not get to anything else. Who knows? But I did watch. So it's funny you mentioned those Muppet movies because I did watch a documentary on Jim Henson that I think is on Disney Plus or something like that. I don't know. I got it on one of the pirate streams. Anyways, it's called what the heck's it called? Jim Henson Idea Man. And yeah, it goes through all of his early life. How he started with the Muppets, and it was just him and his wife. And then they got someone else. I can't remember. And
Frank Oz,
no, he was
Dave
so.
Bowles.
I think that was his name. I'm really bad with the names, but Frank Oz. He was trying to recruit early on, but Frank Oz wasn't really old enough. I didn't know he was like that much younger than Jim Henson. He was only 19 years old when he started
Really?
with them. Yeah, and they just had that chemistry, but he had to wait till Frank Oz finished college, and then he was able to join with Jim Henson. And yeah, it was just all about their early stuff, how they did like tons of commercials. They did a lot of local television. They would just do like, you know, puppets dancing to music and stuff like that. Just a lot of basic stuff in that. So by the time the rest of the world got to experience the Muppets, like these guys were just, they did their, you know, the 10,000 hours thing, like the Beatles, right? And they just had all the skill honed in. But yeah, it was interesting. The Frank Oz stuff was interesting. How much younger he was. How terrible of an experience they had on that first season of Saturday Night Live. Do you remember that?
Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, the Muppets were part of the very first season of Saturday Night Live.
Really?
Yeah, because so Jim Henson, like their comedy was always a little kind of Three Stooges like, with a lot of violence and that, and some of it was adult with a lot of innuendo in that. But they were constantly looking for the next gig, constantly looking for money in that. And when the children's show Sesame Street was presented to them, they had to like dumb everything, well, not dumb it down, but just get rid of like a lot of the violence in that and make the show make their characters accessible for children. But Jim Henson didn't want to be locked into just like the guy that does children's programming, right? So he was doing Sesame Street. Sesame Street took off. It was a huge hit, bigger than what they thought. They thought they were going in to do like a few episodes of this little PBS show, and they were never going to have to do these things again. And it turned out to be something that he would do yearly for the rest of his life. So then he went to the other extreme, and he wanted to do Saturday Night Live to counterbalance all the children's programming that they were doing. But the problem with Saturday Night Live is that the cast on that show and the writers, they wrote all the material that were on the show. So if Jim Henson wanted to do Saturday Night Live, the writers for Saturday Night Live wrote all their material. And if you've ever seen it, it kind of sucks because none of the writers wanted to write for the Muppets, and none of the actors, Frank Oz and Jim Henson, wanted to perform this material. So it's interesting to watch people not into any of the material that they're doing performing it, but yeah, it's pretty bad. So I think they only lasted about 5 or 6 episodes before they finally gave up. But When he left Saturday Night Live, he was looking for another avenue, and apparently Jim Henson was trying to sell the idea of the Muppet Show for a while, and he went to like all the networks and all that, and all of them passed on it. And he wanted to do like a variety show, like a Muppet kind of variety show. And I didn't know this, but the Muppet Show was not only was it a syndicated show, it wasn't affiliated with any network, but it was done out of the UK. It was not done in the United States. It was a guy that had a studio. It was a British guy who had a studio in the UK, and he said, "Come on over. We'll set you all up, and you could do your show right there." So they did that, and then they sold it to networks in the United States.
I think that was mentioned in that Muppet movie, because one of the things is they go to England and like, oh, this is the original studio where
Okay.
they did the Muppet Show.
Okay, I didn't pick up on any of that, but
It kind of went to the back of my head until you just said that.
Anyways, it was a very fascinating watch. Fascinating how dedicated he was, how many hours he would spend on doing the stuff. He would also, like in his spare time, he would make movies. Like that's how much he was just into it. Like he would have like a chunk of time off. Okay, I'm going to make like a short film. And even if it was just for his family to watch or whatever, like he was just constantly creating and doing that stuff. I don't want to give too many spoilers, but it turns out that he was raised a Christian Scientist, and that might have played into how he passed away at such an early age. But really interesting watch, really good stuff. So I recommend that there. Jim Henson Idea Man, I think that's what it was called. Let me just make sure I got that right. Yeah, Jim Henson Idea Man. Check it out. So that was the only movie I watched. The rest has all been Star Trek.
Star Trek. See you later, Ryan.
The next see you, Sauce. Star Trek: The Next Generation, season 1. Sarah and I went through all of season 1. Every night we're like, "Are we going to watch a movie tonight?" Yeah, let's just watch more Star Trek, and we'll end up watching 2 more episodes. So we're like, right into it. What's this? He was forced into retirement because of multiple rape allegations.
He's talking about Vince McMahon.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Not Jim Henson.
Not Jim Henson. It's like, wow, the documentary really fumbled there. They left out that big chunk of information. I bet you Vince McMahon is still pulling the strings back there. He's just not official.
I guess
capacity, if that's the case. Anyways, now Sauce is gonna be a bunch of stuff. You have to say Vince McMahon was forced into retiring because of multiple. You can't just say he, because we've moved on. I'll teach you how to chat yet. Okay, so yeah, season 1, Star Trek: The Next Generation. Now we've all been led to believe, I would say, over the past couple of decades or so, that season 1 of Star Trek: The Next Generation is not that great. It's not good. It's sloppy. It's really bad television. And the show itself doesn't get good until season 3. And I'm here to report, after watching season 1 for the first time in about 15 years with a very critical eye, because I am looking for all of this horrible stuff that we've all heard about season 1. And I'm ready to judge it harshly. I have to say that overall, season 1 of Star Trek: The Next Generation is quite excellent television. And I don't know what the hell all these people are talking about. I don't know. I do know where some of it is coming from. I think some of it is coming from the actors on the show, because we were talking about when are you ever going to watch like all these extras on the Blu-ray and all that. Sarah and I sat and we watched it all. We watched all the extras in that, and they are very critical, especially Jonathan Frakes is very critical of the first season. And I think that's where all the backlashes come from. Now, I'm not going to say that it's all great. There are some terrible moments. Like we talked about the last time, that the 3rd episode is quite racist. The second episode is like just a rehash of an original series episode that's a little off. And I would say about the first 5 or 6, maybe 7 episodes it's a little rough. There was that episode where Riker gets Q's powers. You might recall that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Q gives Riker his powers, and the idea was that Q was trying to prove to Picard that if he gave a human his type of powers, it would totally corrupt them, right? And that episode's a little weird because Riker kind of acts weird for a while until spoiler alert for this really old episode, until he realizes that he is being corrupted by this power and it isn't going to make all of his friends happy and blah, blah, blah. And Picard wins the debate kind of thing. And it's out of character for Riker. And Tasha Yar is a really weird character. She just didn't have a place. And it's really weird that the actress, Denise Crosby, actually recognized that her character was so out of place that she took herself out of the show. I thought that was quite forward thinking.
She loves being parts of all the celebrations all these years later, though.
Yeah. Well, actually, you know that her and Maria Sirtis, they're originally, when they were hired, they were supposed to be playing each other's character. Denise Crosby was supposed to be Counselor Troy, and Maria Sirtis was supposed to be Tasha Yar. But at the last minute, or close to the last minute, Gene Roddenberry switched them. But yeah, you could tell that the idea for Worf, they apparently they went back and forth a lot on whether or not. So Gene Roddenberry wanted a Klingon on the bridge of the Enterprise, and the writers were like, "There is no room for a Klingon on the bridge of the Enterprise." And apparently they went back and forth until eventually, apparently Michael Dorn just showed up one day. They put the makeup on him and they threw him on the bridge of the Enterprise, and that's how the Klingon got on the bridge. He had no place. He doesn't even have a position, right? He's always at those back computers back there, the science stations, and he throws in a line once in a while. But apparently another character was supposed. If you remember the counter at Farpoint, that first episode, the Enterprise separates, and the battle bridge goes on to find out what's going on at Farpoint while the saucer section goes off into safety. And they put Worf in charge of the saucer section, which was supposed to be the big, like, oh my God, the Klingon, the warrior, is not on the battle bridge kind of thing. But that apparently that was all done like last minute. Anyways, Tasha Yar or Denise Crosby kind of figured that, Worf is going to take my spot here. So she decided to, and it's funny, like on the Blu-ray, you can see like so much more detail and all that. And she shot her second last episode before her last episode, where she gets killed by that oil monster thing.
Right.
And in her very last scene, you can see her off in the background, and she's waving.
Really?
Like, what is that about? That is weird. At the time, I didn't know it was her last scene because she still had another episode. So then I looked it up on the Wikipedia, and it said that was the actual or her last scene taping of Star Trek, and that was her waving goodbye to all the fans. So I thought that was kind of sweet. Anyways, I'd say by about episode 10 on, I know there was like a bunch of backfighting and all that on the show. Apparently the writers were having, there was a bunch of, but to me, it's an excellent show. Wesley Crusher, he's a little weird too. He doesn't really fit in. They do explain, though, very early on, why Picard tolerates Wesley Crusher. I didn't remember this, but the Traveler guy, who Wesley Crusher, spoiler alerts for season 6 of Star Trek The Next Generation, he goes off with the Traveler at some point. But he was in that, like, the very early on in the series. He was like, 8th episode or something like that. The Traveler tells Picard, like, this kid is special and you should keep an eye on him from afar. He said you have an opportunity to lead him, but not like directly, right? So that's why like the Traveler didn't go to the mom, because the mom would be like my son is special, and she'd get all crazy and stuff. So that's why Picard kind of tolerated him at the beginning, even though it doesn't like exactly work. They kind of, that first season, they kind of make him like a wizard kid,
Yeah.
like nobody could come up with an answer, and then all of a sudden he has the answer. We started watching season 2. We're like about 3 or 4 episodes in. They kind of toned him down a bit. He's a little older too, so it kind of makes a little more sense that he's on the bridge. But we still haven't really got to a Wesley episode in that second season yet, so that might change. But yeah, there's really great chemistry between Brett Spiner and Jean-Luc Picard and Riker. Like, they all have really good chemistry going on. You could see why Data was a fan favorite. He's got like that childlike thing going where he doesn't get the nuance of things, and all that stuff is there. It's I don't know, to me it was a really solid season, and I really enjoyed it. I also enjoyed the original series, so maybe because a lot of it wasn't exactly the Next Generation yet, a lot of it was kind of like, you can feel a lot of TOS vibes in that
Right.
first season.
Mhm.
But I'm having a blast. I had a blast with season 1 of the Next Generation. By the end, I thought it was solid all the way through. Well, I mean, other than a few rocky points, it excellent show with a few bad episodes, which is a lot different, I think, from bad shows with maybe the odd good episode. That's how I find new Star Trek to be.
Okay.
So there you go.
Some point I got to go back and sit down and watch from the beginning again.
Yeah, I recommend it. And I don't know, I when I started seeing the reviews and the interviews and that, and I saw Jonathan Frakes, he was saying, yeah, like, I didn't like this episode, I didn't like that episode, I didn't think we were a very good show yet, blah blah blah. And I'm like, oh, this is what all the fans have been regurgitating for the past so many years. They just hear, and I think that, like, I'm sorry, Jonathan Frakes, but I'll take season 1 of the Next Generation over any of the movies that you directed, which in my opinion, are horrible. So he has nothing bad to say about those movies, but you see, I think he's going with his personal experience. It might have been how he felt when he was working on season 1. He may not have had as much control of the character, not as much say as what was going on. Maybe didn't like the stories or whatever it is. But so fans, watch this stuff for yourself and make your own decision. Don't just listen to what other people are saying about it. So there you go. That's my review.
Ryan.
Well, I know Ryan's not a Star Trek fan, so there's season 1, season 2, season 3. None of that, no season of Star Trek is going to win him over, which is fine. That's fine. It's all good. So what else? Well, I could show you some stuff I picked up if you want.
Never mind. I'm still waiting to see more He-Man and X-Men figures.
I haven't gotten any. They got to be on sale for $3.
$3.
I'm waiting.
Hit what was it? The Dollar Tree, Dollarama. What do you got there?
They haven't had any. They had Doom. That's his name, right? Doom.
Oh, Dr. Doom.
Dr. Doom. They had Dr. Doom. That's how much of a Marvel fan I am. They had Dr. Doom. And so my buddy Frank picked him up, but that's it. That's all. They have to get more. I'm not going to Walmart or whatever it is and spend $20 on the figure. I'll spend $3 on the figure all day.
Okay.
So like I said, I got the holdovers for $4. I picked up Atomic Blonde, which I've heard good things about.
I tried watching that one. I didn't get very far.
Okay, I heard mixed things about it now.
Or maybe I'm thinking of Lucy. Did I watch Atomic Blonde?
I don't know. The other one that she did, oh geez, Aeon Flux. I didn't like that one. Maybe you're thinking of that
one I never watched either.
Okay.
I think I saw like part of it.
Well, hopefully Atomic Blonde isn't bad, but it's only $4. My friend Frank found this for me. It's like a Stephen King Nightmares and Dreamscapes. So apparently it was like a mini series based on Stephen King short stories. So I've been trying to collect Stephen King stuff because every time when I read a Stephen King book, I like to go and watch the TV or movie adaptation after. And a lot of times on the pirate streams, they'll have it, but it's not great quality. So if you can ever find like the DVDs out there for cheap. So I also
Have you
found
seen the
this.
Langoliers?
Nope, that's the next book I need to read though. But I also found this Stephen King movie set with the DVDs in them. So I got Misery, Carrie, The Dark Half, and Needful Things.
My goodness.
So I already have those two, but I didn't have these two, and they're kind of hard to
Has
find.
everything he written been turned into a movie or TV show?
Not quite, but it's pretty darn close. My buddy Frank, when I was out shopping with him, he went to the Blu-rays and he's not a music guy, but he starts pulling out all these music DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff. So I picked up a few. This is like crappy Aerosmith later on, like old man, crappy Disney Aerosmith. But
Disney
you know, they
Aerosmith.
Yeah, because they did a song for Armageddon, right? So that was Disney, right? I don't know. Anyways,
Was it? Oh, or was it Touchstone, which is Disney?
close enough. Anyways, they do have a lot of their classic songs on here, so I'll give that a watch. Rolling Stones, Shine a Light, directed by Martin Scorsese. And we got the Deep Purple, Perfect Strangers Live. So this is actually a show from 1984 when they got back together. It was their original. The Mark II of Deep Purple is considered the best Deep Purple, and I think this was the reunion of Mark II Deep Purple. I might have that wrong, but I'm in the wheelhouse of right, so we'll take it. I picked this. Frank recommended I pick up this one, Rescue Dawn, with Christian Bale and Steve Zahn. Says it's really good. I don't know it either. Oh, I found a copy of the Coen Brothers True Grit.
That's a good one.
Yeah, with the bridges. And then finally I got this Robert Duvall movie, The Great Santini. They played this on Turner Movie Classics a long time ago, and I recorded it, but I since lost the recording. So I haven't watched it yet, but I found it on DVD. And this old Paul Newman movie, Fort Apache, The Bronx. And you got Ed Asner in there, and I'm not sure who that guy is. Who's that guy? Paul Newman, Ed Asner. Ken something? Ken... Is it Danny? That's not Danny Aiello. I don't know who that is. Anyways, it's an old Paul Newman movie. So I said, what the heck? I'll grab it.
Oh, speaking of Danny Aiello, have you ever seen a movie called, I think it's called The Protector? It's a Jackie Chan buddy cop movie.
Yes. Oh, yes. I have seen that. Yes, I have seen that. Yeah,
I
not that great.
That, a couple months ago. Yeah, it's kind of so. It's got some good Jackie Chan moments. Not his huge over the top, but it's a darker Jackie Chan.
Yeah, so that was if my memory serves correct, that was they were trying to bring him into the North American audience, right?
Probably, yeah, because it was well before anyone knew who he was.
And I think he was a star in the Cannonball Run films, but he wasn't a leading star
right.
in those films. But if I remember correctly, that it starts off in New York, and then they go. Do they go to Hong Kong?
I think so.
Yeah, because they only had so much money to work in New York, and then they had to like the story had to go to Hong Kong because gotta
go somewhere else. Yeah.
They couldn't afford to shoot everything in New York. But yeah, it's okay. What did I say? I gave it 2.5 stars. So
it was kind of surprising just to see like a rougher, darker Jackie Chan. Apparently, he did not enjoy that performance.
No.
He didn't want to do it like that. But lots of squibs, lots of old style 80s action, early 80s. I guess.
Yeah. It's a bit. It has its moments. A bit fun movie, but it's not his best stuff.
No.
Yeah, you can see like the artwork for The Protector. It's like Jackie Chan with a big Gatling gun. You know, they're trying to make him
Is
into
it?
like a Rambo action star kind of thing.
Right.
That's not Jackie Chan.
You tried.
Yep. Okay. All right.
I'm jealous. You bought a whole bunch of movies. I didn't
Well,
buy much of anything recently.
these have been from after. Well, this is like the last 2 months, I think. Like I have been going very sporadically out. So
A lot of times when I go out now, I debate because a lot of what I want to buy is just I'm upgrading,
mhm.
something that I had on DVD, and I'm like, have it, but I could buy this copy.
Yeah, I have it on
Like,
Blu-ray, right? Yeah. There's
yeah,
nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with upgrading.
yeah, but it seems like that's the majority of what I want to buy now.
Okay.
So I kind of debate on how much I should do that.
Yeah. Well, what type of television are you watching it on? Are you watching these on?
I don't. I watch everything on a projector now.
On a projector? Oh, you have
Yes.
like a 1080p projector?
Yeah, it's up
Oh, I didn't know
there,
that.
right there,
Oh,
right there.
okay. I didn't know you were a projector guy. I was thinking about getting a projector, but we like to watch stuff in the day, so it's too much light pollution, you know.
Yeah, it's true. Yes, I don't have a super fancy one, so you do have to turn off the lights, and I mostly watch at night though. But
So when you
so yeah, sometimes the DVD surprises you, and you
yes,
pop
yeah.
it in the Blu-ray player, and like that looks pretty good.
Yeah, I
That
agree.
that looks pretty darn good. Other times you get one of those older DVDs that's just really rough. You got like the weird, there's like light bleeding from the edge. It
Yeah.
looks like a VHS transfer.
Even newer ones. There's some newer DVDs that like, wow, they really just they just put like the crappiest
Yeah.
version on the DVD. But for me, like it's where the DVD doesn't can't compete with the Blu-ray is the color. You know, like sometimes you
Mm,
will get that crispness off of a DVD, but the colors are still washed out compared to what you get on a Blu-ray. So,
mhm.
but just to encourage you to spend more money on upgrades. Think of the color.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't mind in some cases because like I said, I've mentioned this before, but there was like the rental places that went out of business, and I bought a bunch of their old stuff. So some of those old rentals, they're rough,
Mm,
or you have to deal with a bunch of commercials at the beginning, so you got to
yes.
constantly advance, advance,
Yeah.
advance, advance, advance.
Yeah.
So
If
sometimes it might be worth it.
if your old rentals are rough, you mean like they're kind of scratched up?
Sometimes it's a matter of scratches, but usually they still play fine. It's just the
Okay.
visual quality. There's a lot of
Okay.
noise, a lot of
All right.
grain. They
Right.
haven't cleaned them up. And I
Gotcha.
still get the odd one where it's surprising. This had happened with The Graduate, where of course it has the original English language track, and you can put on Japanese subtitles, but you can't turn them off. So you have to have subtitles on some of these.
That is weird.
It is so odd.
Yeah.
It's some of them you can't even get to a menu, so you have to. I usually look for the menu, like go in and go to that screen. But then, of course, you have just the button on the remote where you can just toggle your
Yeah.
subtitles, and sometimes that works, and sometimes it doesn't.
Mm.
It's really weird.
Okay. I think we've talked about everything. I think we're
Well,
good.
we bored Ryan to
Yeah, he's
tears.
done.
So
Well, the Star Trek
he's
talk. I
the
mean,
Star Trek cut him off.
I
Yeah.
mean, I can't blame him. We do I talk about Star Trek a lot, but I love it. I can't help it.
Maybe we should choose a Star Trek game for uh
Our
for
Judgment Rights.
our vote.
I still haven't played through Judgment Rights yet, but
Oh
I
yeah,
didn't.
yeah. I haven't either.
How come that? Oh, that was on GOG. That's why I went on Steam and I went 2D. I didn't think of GOG. Oh, damn.
Mm.
Oh well. Oh well, it's too late now. It's papers, please. That Sauce already nope. He's vetoing the Star Trek.
Vetoing.
All right. Thanks everybody for listening and watching. Thanks everyone in the chat. Looks like it was just Rocket Sauce and my buddy Deke at the Distortion Den. And Sarah did have one
Sarah
comment.
chimed in.
Yeah,
Hello,
to
Sarah.
correct me. Yeah, just to correct me. But that's good. That's all we needed. Having good times. Yeah. How do we end this thing again? We just say goodbye.
Keep on rocking them games.
Oh, that's what we say. Okay.
Hmm.
That's a blast from the past.
Did he finish college yet?
I don't know. I see he's not on Xbox as much as he normally is. So
Okay.
yeah. All right.
Hope you're out there somewhere, J Rock.
Yeah, he might have another year to go or something.
Hmm.
All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
End stream.